Super Bowl winning head coach Brian Billick joining the show. Coach, we cover the Buffs. Coach Brown's the head coach. How has it been for you just seeing him? You coached him towards the tail end of his career, but now he's a head coach. What's it been like just watching him take up that role?
Where you got to remind me, where are we talking about?
We're talking Deion Sanders.
Oh, Deion. I'll tell you what, Deion, I said it when he came out. Deion, first off, Deion doesn't get credit because of his unique skills for being how smart a player he was. He's one of the smartest players I ever had. Understood the game at all levels. And I knew he would be a phenomenal coach because he brings that institutional knowledge, he brings that perspective, and he's got such an innate feeling for the players and what they can do. I knew he would be phenomenal as a coach.
What was it like coaching him for those couple years that you had him?
I had Deion in the later part of his career, and so he came in with a very specific role in mind. And I didn't know coming in how he's going to be. He was phenomenal. He was a great player to coach. He understood the value of coaching, so he appreciated what you did. He knew that he had to support that. He knew that at that point, too, he was mentoring the players on a constant basis. He was a great addition for us at a lot of different levels.
Sorry.
No, everyone that we talk to who has interacted with him at any point, whether it's a teammate, a coach, a coworker at NFL Network, whatever it is, loves the guy. They speak of him in this way. Yeah. What is it about him?
He's just got that passion for life that's evident every day in whatever he does. I worked with him at the network as well. And his love of the game, loves the personalities involved. He's not afraid to be who he is and love life every day as it comes out. He's just a phenomenal human being that way, in that you just gravitate towards that passion. And it's so consistent. The guy never had a down day. I can't remember a single time where, and you work with someone long enough, whether it's on the field or whether it's the network, and you come in and you're kind of, you just don't have it that day, and you're just off, and it's just for any number of different reasons. The guy was never off. He always had that exuberance and passion for what he was doing.
Doesn't that make it surprising, too, that there are so many people who don't know him, who dislike him, and have all these different opinions about him?
Well, that's not untypical. I mean, there's a whole lot of people who don't think a whole lot of me, until they actually work with me. I'm an arrogant, egotistical, yada, yada. Yeah, okay, but then, come work with me, and it turns out, you're not so bad, because you're going to look at the persona from the outside and not really understand it from the outside. And but when you are around it, and you can appreciate that passion. And see, this isn't an act. This is to his core. It's like Ray Lewis. The thing I'll tell you about Ray Lewis, what you saw on Sunday, you got every day from Ray Lewis. So there is that is who they are. And you can appreciate it a little bit more rather than thinking, this is just prime time, showtime. That's, he's just putting on an act here. No, that's him through and through.
How did he end up playing for you guys? Because he was retired for a few years.
Yeah, we were on the back end. It was in the back end of his career. We got short in DBs. We needed a very specific. We needed some experience. We needed some depth. We needed someone that had brought that gravitas. And with the group we had, you couldn't just bring in anybody. And I forget Ozzie knew somewhat the connection. I think it may have been Corey Fuller, who I'd coached in Minnesota and then was with us in Baltimore. It was very close to Deion, and we just reached out and said, hey, you want to come in? Here's the role. And he was having the toe issue, and so it was, but it was great. He came in. It was a great addition for us.
We have Pat Shurmur as offensive coordinator at Colorado. Just curious if you could give us some insight into his offense. I mean, you called one of the greatest offenses of all time. So.
Well, he's the pedigree, and been around it a long time. He's going to bring a great wealth of knowledge, of understanding what the design of the offense needs to be as it pertains to the personnel, because that's really the key. There's, at the end of the day, everybody's doing everything, the same thing. They really are on both sides of the ball. So it's really a matter of tailing, okay, what do we do best? What do our players do? And how do I integrate that into what we're doing? That's really the key. He's done that in a number of places. He knows what he's doing. It's going to be a good fit.
The linchpin of that offense, obviously, is Shedeur Sanders.
Right.
What do you think of him?
Outstanding talent. He can do some special things. You got to wrap some things around him, obviously, and just what I'm talking about, structure in a way that gets him protected. That's the number one thing to me. You got to get him protected. He was, hell, they were beating him to his drop before he got there half the time. And you could see him, his ability to make things happen and the uniqueness of it. But you got to get him protected, get him comfortable in the pocket, so he can instrument the offense and get to that other talent that you have on the outside.
I want to ask you about Travis Hunter because, I mean, you obviously had Ed Reed, and he made these plays. I remember there's like a video of him talking about this interception he had against Indianapolis, how he like baited Peyton Manning way down the field.
Absolutely. I know the exact play you're talking about. Ed was brilliant, most intuitive player I think I've ever had. Again, great overall perspective of the game. He's at free safety, and he's got Peyton Manning, who's maybe the smartest quarterback in the history of the game. Knows what he's facing. He knew where Peyton wanted to go, so he leans and starts there to bait Peyton into throwing. And just as Peyton starts his action, turns and sprints to the sideline where he knew the ball was going to be to get the interception. That's rare air, guys that can do that.
We've seen Travis Hunter do some similar things like that, though, coming off of zones, just like, I don't want to say freelancing, but he just has this innate feel for the game. You obviously coach Prime as well, but what makes, I mean, can you coach that at all about these players?
Well, and what underlies that, I should say, is, yes, it is intuitive, but a lot of it comes from film work. A lot of it comes from putting in the time, recognizing it's not just freelancing and running down hair on fire down the field. Oh, I'm going to do this, but having by design, I've seen this, I know where it's going. It's anticipatory. It's the only way you could really get it done. Because if it's after the fact, you're never going to get there. So can't guess, but it's anticipatory to a degree where I saw the film, I saw this before, I'm going to do this and then jump there. And so there's a lot of hard work that goes into it as well.
With Shedeur, with Travis, with Coach Prime, what do you think? What do you think for the team this year?
I'd never bet against Prime. Obviously, it's all about the portal and NIL and whatever, and getting the right players in there to support it. But on a team that had done nothing, was in the dregs of the NCAA, and for him to pull that together and do what he did, generate the enthusiasm, no question he's going to get the right next group of players around that to support it, like in the offensive line to protect them. I don't think there's any question they're going to get it going.
What's your kind of view and take on college football as a whole right now? It feels like we're just in free fall.
It's a cesspool. I hate what's going on. I'll be honest with you. Wow. The NIL, they got to get it under control. I know where we're headed, and I understand it. I get it in terms of we're going to have the Super League. They're going to be 38, 48 teams. We got to get there because right now, the way the NIL, in conjunction with the no-holds-barred portal, the NCAA is a feckless body. We need to put it under some type of auspices that will get that under control. Let the teams compete. And that's fine. We're going to pay the players, just like the NFL. But you got to put some structure to it. The way it is right now, it's sad and embarrassing to me.
Coach, it sounds like you could be the new commissioner of college football at this point.
Nah, but they got to do something, and it can get done.
Yeah.
I don't know who's calling the shots. It's not the NCAA, and it's not the college president. So I don't know who it is that's going to call the shots to put this structure together, but it needs to be done, and it needs to be done quick, and it'll be great once they get it under control.
It sounds like the NCAA needs to signal for some relief.
There you go.
Tell us about signal relief.
I wish that could help.
This guy.
This is the real deal. I get approached by a lot of people to do a lot of things. The signal relief is the real deal. It's an amazing product. I mean, it's all about managing pain for players. How do I get back on the field? And so I can get back and work the joints, work the muscles. And there's, you go into a training room, there's hundreds of thousands of dollars of stem machines and whirlpools and hydrotherapies. Signal relief is the real deal. It's a military-based. It works on the electrical signals in your body. It blocks we put it between the pain and the brain. It blocks that signal so that you can then do those things to work the muscles, work the joints. It's reusable, so it's very affordable. You put it where you need it. I'm 18 holes of golf, it's going on my lower back. Right. I get out of the pool 3 days a week, on my shoulder or on my upper back. It blocks that intermittent pain that allows you to do the other things. Motion is medicine, and that's really what this allows you to do. Like I said, very affordable. You put it where you need it, and it's money back guaranteed if it doesn't work for you, but you're not going to get there because, to tell you what, the people I give this to, the biggest thing they come back and go, do you make an entire bodysuit I can put on this thing? Because wherever you put it, it works.
I have one more question for you on Shedeur, just from a head coach's perspective. You mentioned the fact that there was so much pressure on him last year. Yet, at the end, you look at his season stats, 31 total touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
Amazing.
What does that say about his processing speed, that he's not making those bad decisions despite being under all that pressure?
And did it under constant duress. That's the anybody can throw up the ball a lot. Mm-hmm. The great ones in this game, in the NFL, are the ones that are a minimum in that 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. And then you get the Mannings and the Breezes, and then you get to Aaron Rodgers, who's like 4-to-1. Yeah. But anybody can throw an interception, right? So the guys that are freelance, boy, I'm going to throw it up, but they throw as many interceptions as they do touchdowns. That does you no good. For him to have that kind of under the duress that he did shows the ability, the judgment, and the ability to deliver the ball where he needs to, yet the judgment to recognize, no, I can't make this throw, get the ball where I need to. I can't wait to see what they do with him, what Coach Sherman will do with him. Get him protected, operate more from a more structured pocket. He's going to do the other things running around, but let him make those throws from a more protected structure pocket. Going to be fun to watch what he does.
Awesome,
right,
Coach.
Guys,
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.